Well, hello and welcome to week 26 Icarus update. I'm here with Corney. How are you doing, pal?
I'm doing fine.
Good,
Yet
good.
another update. Yay.
Yeah, yeah. So can I have an audio check if you wouldn't mind, please?
Audio is fine.
Okie dokie, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. Week 26, bugs and performance, number 1. So I assume that there's going to be there's going to be more of these.
Yep. Good news for our AMD players.
Yeah. Week 26 update bugs and performance number 1. First of what will be many updates focused on general performance and bug fixes, including 2 new missions for sticks.
Yeah, those were promised last week. 2 new missions.
Yep.
They're going to be in now.
Yep, they are. So we'll start off then. I tell you what, would you start us off this week?
Okay, no problem. So, last week we dropped the biggest content update to Icarus yet, with the 6 map and mission pack DLC. This week's update brings a large batch of bug fixes, performance improvements and gameplay balances. We're also unlocking the final 2 promised sticks missions and introducing the larval bow and arrow varieties to the orbital workshop for the hunters among you.
Oh, I'm excited already.
Oh yeah, new weaponry. Maybe a space bow will be viable now.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good actually. It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a comment here from Dean Hall Game Runner, which says, performance and bug fixes have been a priority since we began the beta. But with a more solid foundation, we now have the ability to make some of our weekly updates focus directly on improving both the stability of the game and how it runs. Welcome, Scaly. It's good to see you. Thanks for your support. And Scaly says the new board does seem good, so looking forward to testing it. Yes, we are too.
Yeah.
Well, I am. I can't wait. This will be the first time of what will be many updates focused on general performance and bug fixes. Note, optimization takes time and requires a great deal of caution and testing. Improvements will come gradually over time. Please ensure you check you are running the latest graphics card drivers. We have worked directly with video card manufacturers and they have made changes to their graphics drivers directly to improve performance. It's vital you keep these up to date. That's very true, and this comment comes from Dean Hall, Game Runner. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Whoops.
But yeah, he definitely has a point here. Step 1 of bug fixing: are you running the latest drivers? We know they are working with the both AMD and Nvidia, who are actually putting optimizations for Icarus in their drivers. I know this for Nvidia. I don't know about AMD because I don't use an AMD card, but I reckon they're trying to do the same with AMD.
Yeah, well, Scaly in chat says my AMD card seems to also be behaving better. Haven't had the fire issue on my Vega 56 for some time, so there's testament to the fact that they're working with the AMD developers too.
Well, a couple of patches ago, they already added some updates to the whole fire system, multiple times actually. And indeed, also from the driver side, so from AMD side, they're also working on improving the performance, which is good.
Yeah. We always like when they improve performance. It just makes the gameplay so much smoother.
Yeah, and also makes the players more happy because a lot of complaints are about the performance.
Yes, yes. You know, every game is a work in progress. I mean, you're never going to get it right first time out the gate. You know what I mean?
True, and Icarus is hard on the on your graphics cards, definitely.
Yes. But the payoff for that is the fact that it has amazing graphics.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Alrighty, so we've got 2 new missions here. You want to take us through the first one?
Sure. This week we have unlocked the rendezvous delivery and the ballistic extermination missions. To complete the 16 mission pack that comes with the new Styx map, your briefing are as follows. Rendezvous delivery. The operator here is Unayo. The biome is Alpine Valley. Background of the mission is the operator requires a very delicate biosample from the surface. The mission itself is to retrieve the required sample and ensure its safe return to orbit. Note that the sample will be highly sensitive to temperature. Terms is a flat fee. No acknowledgement will be given for damaged or unusable samples. Oh, keep an eye on your temperature meter. Take cover during storms, especially if Arctic is included.
Oh
It's
yeah.
going to be interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, stone
My instant
house, fire
my in,
pit.
yeah, my instantaneous thought to that is you either have to keep it warm or you have to keep it cold. And I first thought was, if you have to keep it cold, why can't we just shove it in that thermos that gives us cold water?
Sure, sure. Might be.
That would be good.
Would be funny indeed. Yeah,
Yeah.
in that there's not really a way to keep things cold as such.
No.
So I do think, but this is a guess, that the Arctic biome is involved.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful the temperature of the biosample doesn't drop below a certain threshold. Ergo, bring a stone base and bring a fire pit, and as soon as there's a hint of a storm, immediately set up camp, go inside, light the fire pit.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. We might
But
have to
this is
put
just,
it we might have to put it into a refrigerated pod, like you do with the stockpile maps.
yeah, but how do you transport it if you have to keep it below a certain temperature?
You run like hell.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But this is something which
That's
will
going to be
become apparent
interesting.
at some point anyway, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Excuse
True.
me. And the second one reads as follows: ballistic extermination. Operator, Sinotai. The biome is the oasis, so that will be the desert, I have no doubt. The background for it reads Sinotai has been made aware of an increase in hostile wildlife within their granted research plot. The mission is to dispatch any hostile wildlife in the region to guarantee the safety of the operator's team. The terms, it's a flat fee. All safety and survival concerns are the responsibility of the contractor.
In other words, you once again you'll be dropped down, and good luck, mate.
Yep.
Try not to die too often.
Yes. 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 So, yeah, don't die heat stroke actually, because it looks like that one's going to be starting in the desert.
Seeing the fact that he's talking about an oasis, quite possibly.
Mm-hmm. Dispatch hostile wildlife. So I'm kind of hoping that this might be a boss fight.
Nice big scorpion boss.
Oh, well, we've had a scorpion boss. I don't know whether or not that.
Then maybe cougar.
We've had a cougar boss. I don't know. That's going to be interesting to find out. It's going to be interesting to find out. So,
Oh yeah.
but we'll soon find out when we actually start playing it. So on to the next bit, and this is some real big news. Larkwell Bow and arrows. How long have we waited for a decent top tier bow?
Quite a long time.
I mean, we have top tier bows. I have bought them, but I'm really sorry, but they're really not that much better than the longbow that you can craft in the crafting bench.
This is true.
So
But if you look at those bows in the workshop, they are like just your basic bended stick and a single thread, single snare.
yeah,
Uh,
Scaly in the chat says, yeah, I was disappointed with the old quote unquote top tier. It was worse than the longbow and it did less damage. It was disappointing. It was very disappointing.
Yep, I mean it's nice for a speedrun because you start out with a bow.
Yes, yes. I mean, it'll get you by. You know, there's no,
Yeah.
you know.
It doesn't. The only advantage here is you start out with a bow.
Yes, yes. That was it.
But the Larkwell Martinez one is actually a compound bow.
Yeah, and now we've tested the Larkwell stuff before. You commonly carry the backpack.
The backpack is amazing.
I've tried spear. The spear is really good. It looks fantastic. So given what we know of the Larkwell equipment, I'm looking forward to testing this out now.
Yeah, if you look at the knife, Larkwell knife isn't that impressive to be honest. It does do a bit more damage than the Ventura, sure, but it's less yield from skinning, and the Ventura obviously has the 100% chance to resist basic wound.
Yes, yes. Now it's going to take a lot to top that knife.
Oh yeah.
But I have tried the Larkwell Martinez knife. I have to say I didn't particularly like it. So, but that's just one of these things. I mean, we test stuff for science. So
Yep.
let's see what we're going to be testing this week.
So the Larkwell compared to the Icarus stuff, it does do a bit more damage.
Mm-hmm.
But the other stats are less, especially if we're talking about X, pickaxe and stuff, the yield is less than
Yes.
the Icarus. The damage is more though, and since the spear is purely used for dealing damage, oh yeah, I can understand how the Largo Martinez spear is actually worth it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As
Okay.
for the bow, the stats point towards the same. It is more projectile damage than any of the current space bows.
Which is what we were looking for from the previous top tier stuff.
Yeah, the rest is basically the same. Plus one arrow capacity, ammo capacity. Sorry, yeah, that's the same for all bows.
Yeah.
You only shoot one arrow at a time, except then for the talent where you can occasionally shoot two arrows at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
The rate of
Alrighty.
fire is decent.
Right. Well, this update adds several new items from the Larkwell Martinez to the Orbital Workshop, including the long-awaited high-performance compound bow. Providing a steady, silent option for the elusive prospector, this bow comes with a range of arrow options, allowing you to personalize it even further. I like that.
The deadly silent option was basically each bow, but they also came with some new arrow types, which is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm looking forward to crafting these or buying them, depending. The ballistic arrow, a small yet devastating explosive charge which detonates on impact. Handle with care.
Like, don't jump off a cliff with a whole bunch of those in your quiver, because if they explode, you'll be gone as well.
Yep. So,
instead of 25 arrows that explode on impact, dealing up to 200 damage in a 5-meter radius. Wow. In addition to the damage from the initial hit.
Yeah. Scaly says 15% chance.
For the double arrow. The
Right. Yes.
double arrow.
Yes. Yes. Not spec'd into it, so I don't know. I didn't know that. So thank you. The taser arrow. This will be fun. Somewhat clunky to use due to its weight, the taser arrow will briefly slow creatures. Is there not a talent that's supposed to do that anyway?
Yes, yes. But this, with this one, you don't need a talent. This is a set of arrows. By the way, the only set where it doesn't state how many you get. It says a set of arrows that can slow its target for 4 seconds, dealing 40 to 120 damage over that time period. So, where the talent is just the basically you freeze the enemy, this one freezes it and does damage.
Oh, cool.
But so here's the thing. The description says the stronger the target, the more likely it is to resist the effects. However, the stats say it is 100% chance to slow on hit with attacks.
Oh.
So description says like strong enemy. I'm thinking bear, polar bear. It might resist the effects. However, the stats say it's 100% chance to slow. Oh, and these arrows, 100% projectile break chance. So one time use only. You can't recover them. The same
Yeah.
with the ballistic arrows.
Yeah, well that's
But
kind
still,
I would have thought that was kind of a given that, like these arrows, because of their speciality and their usage, they are not recoverable because
but
they're
still,
designed to go out there and be and literally kill themselves for us.
yeah. But remember yesterday when this polar bear came up my pole because they didn't put a stopper in and
Mm-hmm.
knocked me clean off. So I went down to the ground and I didn't have the time to get up my pole again.
Yeah.
I saw it coming, so was prepared to jump off. If I would have had these taser arrows, I would have be able to quickly swap to the taser arrows, jump down, wait for the polar bear to come down again as well, hit him with a taser arrow, and then have 4 seconds to get back at my pole.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think if you'd have used a ballistic arrow in that particular instance, you'd have killed yourself too.
Yeah, 5-meter blast radius.
Okay.
Don't use it to kill the rabbit right in front of you.
No. No. Especially when a knife will do that for you.
Exactly.
Okay. Do you want to take us through the next two, Corne?
Yeah. So the bleed arrow, equipped with serrated edging to maximize damage. This arrow will cause ongoing damage after the first hit lands. Set of 25 barbed arrows that cause bleeding, lasting 30 seconds and dealing 3 to 7 damage per second. So not that much, but 30 seconds bleed. And a 50% projectile break chance.
Okay.
The force arrow type is the standard arrow, not your typical run-of-the-mill arrowhead. This precision-crafted arrow flies fast, through, and hits like a train. We're talking about a set of 25 arrows, 5% projectile break chance, not too bad.
So
And
you might be able to recover them.
Yeah, 95% chance of recovery if you're on in time, if it hasn't degraded yet by then.
Mm-hmm.
It does do a 99 to 105 projectile damage,
Ooh, that sounds
which
good.
is like huge.
Yeah.
Like more than anything currently in the workshop.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Compare this with the bow, 125% projectile damage. So we're talking about up to 125, about 130 projectile damage. Multiply this with a stealth modifier and talent modifiers. They're gonna hit
Yeah,
hard indeed.
that's a potential one-shot kill on a polar bear.
In Olympus maybe, in Styx I'm not too sure.
Well, no, I wouldn't pit it up against my life against a Styx polar bear, but the polar bears that we're used to in Olympus,
Oh yeah.
whom I mean, I've only ever seen you have a one-shot kill on a polar bear, and you had a rifle to do it.
Carl has done one-shot polar bears as well, I think.
Yeah, but
But also lower level polar bears are easier.
yeah, I mean, I've never been able to one-shot a polar bear even with a gun.
Yeah.
But
By the
yeah,
way,
so
if you compare them arrows to the flint arrow, which is currently like pretty high up there with the best of the arrows, that one does do 63 to 70 projectile damage.
oh wow, well that's
63 to 70. And this Larkwall normal arrow 99 to 105.
cool. Okay, so they
Awesome.
would definitely see you right in a sticky spot and you've got no arrows, but you've got them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're good arrows.
Oh yeah, they sound really good. We'll just have to test it. We'll have to test all of these arrows,
Yeah.
and
They cost 50 credits to 50 rand to craft them, but hey, you have 25 very hard hitting arrows.
yeah, oh for sure. Okie dokie. So, in addition to the new arrows, we also performed a balance pass of the existing workshop bows, giving them a much needed damage increase.
I've heard him talk about this, yeah. I don't know what the damage modifiers were before, but right now, all three the Xiangyong bows have plus 75% projectile damage. So they basically buffed the Xiangyong bows
Right.
and made an even better one, the Larcon Martinez, with even higher buffs. So they did rebuff. They did rebalance buff the current space bows, and they gave you an even better one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Unfortunately, that bow buff. I mean, Scaly's right in the chat. He says that's nice. It is nice. Unfortunately,
Hey, you just said the space bows weren't up to par,
well, exactly. That's my point.
so they improved them.
The downside to it now is the fact that they've given these bows a buff, whilst they've also given us one that's way better. I mean,
Yeah, but
I am not somebody to be negative about Icarus, but my instantaneous thought when reading that is that just seems a little too late. It's too little, too late. We could have
not
been doing
really.
with that way back.
If you already have a space bow, it is now buffed.
Well, yes.
Right. Now, if you wanna research the Larcon Martinez, you have to pay 1,000 Rand and 250 exotics. If you wanna craft it, another 750 Rand and 250 exotics. Not
Yes.
everyone has almost 2k Rand and 500 exotics lying around.
That is very true. I mean, we do have a lot of Ren and we do have a lot of credit exotics, but that's only because we play
play a lot.
practically every day. If certainly if not that, it's every other day. I really like the fact that they've buffed the bows. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest. I mean,
but
I'm
simple.
I'm not going to
look
pull
at the
my
prices.
punches. I'm not going to
No,
pull my punches. I mean, it's really good that we've got this drop. I agree that the Larkwell bow is going to be like for people who don't play on a regular basis. That's going to be mega expensive.
True. But you have some space bows, the Shenggong Jijing bow, as well as the Shenggong Ji bow.
Yes.
They, between quotes, only cost 300 Rand to research and 100 to craft.
Yes. So if you want to have the advantage of actually dropping down with a bow, now you can do that in the knowledge that the bow will actually do some damage, and it's good that they've buffed that.
Exactly.
I don't.
Yes, they could. It would have been nice if they would have done it sooner. True, but I wouldn't say this update doesn't mean anything anymore because they also have the Largo bow now. No, it's cheaper bows for the people who don't have the amount of currency
Yes, yes.
to
So
buy the new Largo.
from that standpoint, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing that they've buffed the standard top tier bows.
Yeah, Jing.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to test the difference between the top tier and the Larkwell.
And the longbow.
And the yes, and the
Yeah,
longbow.
so do another big comparison test, set up a couple of walls, start shooting arrows at it, different types of arrows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. As the patch now says, bows have been highly requested for some time. So this release will quench that thirst, while providing new strategies for tackling the toughest foe. Happy hunting, prospectors! Well, with these new bows you can do quite a bit more effective hunting.
Yes.
Even the bears. I mean, in sticks, currently it's like, oh shit, a bear. But with these bows, we might get to, hey, there's a bear, let's kill it.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we do on the Olympus.
Yeah. Scaly from the chat says so they have 75% is more. And he didn't realize that the top tier bows had been buffed. Well, they have.
In this update, yeah.
Yes, they have been buffed in this update, which is really good.
And let's see, the longbow actually is plus 25% projectile damage.
Yeah.
And the space bows is plus 75, so 3 times the amount of the longbow has.
Good. Good. Well, that sounds better. Sounds much better.
And if you want to compare it to the recurve bow, the tier 3 one, that one has the plus 50%. So the space bows have a higher damage modifier than the recurve bow even.
Good. Well, that's good. Looking forward to, and Scaly says there's a 10% damage buff as well. That's interesting. It sure is. I mean, we're going to have so much fun testing all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And,
and the 10% damage buff is the Shenggong Xianghu bow.
yes.
Another 10% damage with bows or crossbows. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
125 is insane then for the Larkwall, yeah? Well, you think it's broken? You have to test it out first before you can really say that.
Yes.
Don't trust the numbers. Trust your own tests.
Yeah, trust your own experience, because there's nothing better than actually getting the experience yourself. It's all very well, you know.
Plus, these are like the raw numbers, but it also depends on are you crouched, yes or no? Do you get like this stealth damage? Are you critting them? Which kind of arrows are you using? There are a whole lot of variables to take into account. However,
Yes.
yeah, the Largo Martinez bow definitely seems a very nice one to take with.
Yes.
We're gonna need bigger dropships.
Okay, so now's the time we're going to start asking for more inventory space again.
Yeah, again. I know. When we went from 10 to 15, you remember I was like, yeah, you're never gonna use that.
Yeah, and now
I
3
think I've
months
been
later
wrong.
we're going, right, we need more inventory space now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I mean, I'm really loving this image with what looks to be the taser.
Yeah, it is a taser indeed. Yeah.
With the taser arrow, I'm looking forward to. The thing
Man,
is,
but
they're going to
we
be
have to
really,
do
they're going to be quite hard to calculate, you know, because they're going to be heavy.
exactly.
So the drop off is going to be huge.
Yeah.
You know.
Drop off calculations. Ooh.
Yeah, I can see us on a regular basis licking our fingers and try to find out which way the wind's running, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, bug fixes. We like bug fixes. We really like bug fixes. You want to take us through the first bit?
Sure. So we are humbled by the amazing response we have had to Styx, and in this week's update we've included numerous patches and fixes that focus on performance, player experience, memory optimization and balancing. These improve both the core Icarus game and the Styx missions even further. And yeah, I've quickly gone through the detailed stuff. Yes, memory optimizations, a lot. Performance improvements, quite a few.
Yep.
Anyway, read the detailed breakdown in the detailed changelog below, but here are some highlights. For the Halcyon Extermination mission, tweaked the cup respawn rate to scale with connected players and prospect difficulty, is now slightly easier as a single player, slightly, and ramps up with more connected players. Added entry for Polar Bear boss in AI growth variable or JSON entry, whatever. So we can control the scaling apart from the base Polar Bear. Added in scaling for then mother spawn to ramp up level with connected players. Well, we haven't done Halcyon yet, but
No. No, but I
I
remember.
like what I'm reading here.
I'm having some nervous flashbacks to the beta sticks that we did.
Oh, I know, right? They
Oh
tweaked
my!
the cup spawn.
That was insane.
Well, we have seen those cups. Man, you're in for a treat there.
Oh man, that's a boatload of fun. I can't wait to see that now.
Yeah, same here. Anyway, the Ricochet expedition fixed the difficulty scaling, pointing to the wrong difficulty setup in the prospect system. The second stage of Worms now correctly scales with selected difficulty and connected players. So the difficulty settings for Ricochet expedition didn't really matter, didn't change anything about those worms apparently. So that
Okay.
has now been fixed. Which is a good thing, and whether or not it will be easier or harder, we will never know. But then again, come on, we are all in for a challenge, right?
Oh yeah, we love a challenge.
Exactly.
It just gives us so much fun.
Oh yeah. Sure, we'll be dying a lot, but hey, it's all part of the fun.
That's all part of the game. That's how it runs.
Ah. So they implemented the Jaguar, a Snow Leopard, and a Kia into the skinning bench options. I wonder what a Kia will give though.
Might actually give some meat because usually it just right now it's just giving bone. Maybe we might get feathers
yeah,
from it.
Ever so often some meat. But yeah, feathers aren't used. It's not a material yet. Maybe it will come at some point, but right now feathers aren't a resource. This ain't Valheim.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe some leather. I don't know. Would be funny if they would give fur though. I mean, completely unrealistic, but fun.
Oh, we'll have to test that. We've got to test that.
Yeah, make a skinning bench, chuck a Kia in it, see what you get. Anyway, the Jaguar and the Snow Leopard. Yeah, we were talking about that before. Like, why can't you put them on the skinning bench? Well, no, you can.
Well, we initially. I mean, you couldn't pick them up.
Exactly. So now you
So
can.
initially, I thought it was because they're like a large deer. Well, I mean, they'd be heavier than a large deer. They're heavy.
I don't know. I don't lift them on a regular basis. So.
No.
Well,
but
I do. I lift them regularly, as in never. It's also regularly, but definitely not on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's consistency for you.
Oh yeah. Hey, come on! My math teacher back in high school already taught me an empty collection is also a collection.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I lift Jaguars on quite regularly, as in never.
Yes. Yes. They also added the Scorpion to the skinning bench, which is good.
It's good that it's in there. We ain't gonna need it, because they drop meat and bone and the white meat, the bone in an insane rate anyway.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It's good that they added it.
Yeah. Okay. Reducing.
So here, Yeah, here's some performance improvements they did.
Yes.
Reducing the performance cost of dropships and buildings, as they were performing expensive operations when they did not need to. So, like expensive calculations in the background, causing the game to use more CPU cycles, more memory and stuff. Performance
Yeah.
improvements. There you go.
Yeah. And finally,
They polished landscape at cave entrance, fixed river spline and fish volume, edited floating landscape and voxels around, and added cliffs in desert area to correct collision issue. Yellow quad sticks. Yellow quad sticks looks like a team working on sticks. I don't know. Further down, you'll read more about this and other quads. So it looks, for me, it kind of looks like they're a team working on sticks.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they basically fix map issues, which is always
Good.
good. Like, and you recall in the beta where I basically fell through a mountain wall and landed between the first and the second wall.
Yeah.
Killed a Komodo which was there, and there was a crocodile still under the map. I couldn't get out anymore. I had to unstuck.
Yes.
So
Yes.
hopefully this is one of the things I fixed.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this image here, and when I first saw it, I thought, oh, that poor Kia's been struck by lightning. Now I actually think that it's been hit by a taser arrow fired from a prospector.
Yeah, because there isn't a thunderstorm. Look, it's sunny. You have shade, so there isn't a thunderstorm going on.
Yeah. So
Yeah, poor Kia. I mean, the effect is the same for him,
yeah,
but it's way more
exactly.
funny this way.
Yeah. My apologies to you, Carney. I'm going to ask you to begin the detailed patch notes. I absolutely must take a really quick bio break. I'll be right back.
Right, righto, no problem. So detailed patch notes. The added ballistic extermination mission. It's one of the two new missions going down the Ricochet expedition line. Dispatch any hostile wildlife in the region to guarantee the safety of the operator's team. And they added the rendezvous delivery mission, which is a branch of the Sapphire branch of the mission 3. Retrieve the required sample and assure its safe return to orbit. Note that the sample will be highly sensitive to temperature, which we already talked about, like what could it be. Here's a new thing, they added steel arrows, implementing steel arrow recipe. We had like iron arrows, well, flint arrows, but I think this is bolts. Let me actually quickly check. No, it is actually arrows. It's locked after the flint arrow. You now also have the steel arrow. For one epoxy, one stick, and a steel ingot instead of an iron ore. Let me quickly check. It's 20% critical damage, 20% projectile break chance, and 67 to 75 projectile damage. Versus 63 to 70 for the flint arrow. Slightly more damage, but not by much. And a bit more critical damage, and a bit less projectile break chance. But it's basically the cost of 6 flint arrows. Because 6 is easy. And epoxy instead of leather for the flint arrows, sure. Steel arrows are expensive. But okay. Carl, you can't see what's being read. The stream is not frozen.
I'm
Echo had to
back.
step away for a second, which is now back.
Yeah,
So
I'm
she
trying
couldn't
to catch
highlight
up
what
with
I
where
was
you are.
reading.
That's all.
Yeah. So I was just talking about the steel arrows. One steel ingot. So basically, iron-wise, 6 times a flint arrow for not a whole lot of extra damage. So I'm not sure that will be worth it. I mean, gonna be interesting to test out. It has to be tested out, definitely. But is an expensive arrow.
Sounds like it.
And they added the Larkwell bow and arrows to the Meta Workshop, basically the orbital workshop space station.
Yeah. Which I'm really looking forward to testing.
Yeah. And then we get to the balance passes revisions. Existing workshop bows have been provided with a damage increase, plus 75% projectile damage. So, Karel, here it is stating the space bows get more damage.
Yeah, which we talked about a little bit earlier. Which is good. Good. Yeah.
The next one as well, like watermelon now gives twice as much water. They changed the reduced oxygen consumption to the reduced water consumption buff. Fix description text and name to reflect this change.
Yeah.
Makes
Well,
sense, right? You eat a watermelon and then you need less oxygen? Really?
Yes.
At least
Yes.
now you need less water.
Seem a little bit backward there, but that's good because I've anybody who's been watching the mission streams lately will have maybe taken note of the fact that when we go to the Arctic, because we have to take our water bottle out, because if you drink when you're cold, you risk giving yourself the frost icon, which reduces stamina, movement, and all that stuff. And so instead of actually using my canteen, I've taken to picking up melons before I get to the Arctic, which allows me a larger amount of water measure than berries do, and don't make you cold.
I don't know how much thirst a single watermelon quenches. They stack 10. Berries stack 100.
Watermelons stack 20.
20, okay. One stack of berries fills up an entire thirst bar.
Yeah, whereas 2 watermelons will give you a click under full. You know, I mean, it gives you more than 3/4 full.
So if you're halfway and you eat 2 watermelons, your thirst bar is completely full again?
Pretty much. I mean, if you were
then indeed watermelons are way better than berries.
Yes. Yes.
Because berries you need half a stack.
Yes.
Where apparently for watermelons you only need 10% of a stack, so it is 5 times better than berries. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely take watermelons into the Arctic then.
Yep. Okay. They've updated the meshes used for archers, gatherers, and survival backpacks, update collision and LODs. So they've updated how the green, red, and yellow backpacks look.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they
so maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe they're not the same color anymore.
I think they are. I mean, if I look at the loadouts, oh heck no, they are very different now. Whew, we have to get used to those new backpack colors then. The Gatherer's backpack used to be red. It's now brown with yellow. The green one is now yellow, survival backpack. They look different as well. Not just a different color, but also a different mesh. Wow.
Okay, so I've only ever used, I always use the green one. I always use the green one. And I did have a red one. I would use that if I was going mining. But I've never bought the archer's backpack, which used to be the yellow one.
Yeah. It looks cool now. It's a backpack with a quiver tied to the side of it.
Nice. Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to look really cool. I'm going to have to have a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, they indeed updated the meshes there, and they are very distinctively different now. Not just the same mesh in a different color, but completely different mesh.
Right, okay. Like Scaly in the chat says the archers one used to have a quiver as well, so...
Oh, it is?
Well, that would make sense.
Okay. I never paid that much attention to it. I never even researched it.
No, but I'll be having a closer look at them now.
Oh, they look nice.
Yeah, so the metal ingots visual redesign. A polished pass on textures to give each ingot type a more distinctive look.
Yeah, again, you have to look in-game. You can't see it outside of the... You really have to be in the game to see this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have to say that, was it, it's not aluminium. Titanium is bluish, is that right?
Platinum is bluish.
And platinum is bluish,
Titanium
okay.
is more, I don't know.
Because I always found I
Somewhere
had to
between
look
grey,
twice. Yeah, I always had to look
somewhere between
twice
grey and beige.
between titanium and steel.
Steel is grey white.
Yeah.
Actually, I can see. Oh no, they didn't update the images in the tech tree. Like if you look at the requirements you need for stuff.
All right. Okay.
So platinum is a tad bluish. Let's see, titanium. Yeah,
Looks like silver.
a tad darker, like grey with a sliver of brown in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
iron is pretty distinctive, obviously. Copper is the brown one. Iron was the dark grey. Steel is the light grey.
Yeah.
Gold is the gold.
Yeah.
Aluminum is like the square stack of ingots.
Yeah, it looks like a glass box.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be looking out for that in game, see what the metals are looking like. They've moved the oxygen bladder to be closer to the oxide dissolver in Tier 2 talent tree.
Talent tree. Let's have a look at the talent tree. The talent tree? Oxygen bladder never needed a talent tree, did it now?
I think
No.
they mean the
This must be the
blueprints
test
tree.
tree. Yeah, this must be test tree.
Yeah, so that's a typo.
Oh, yes. Oh, interesting indeed. So now you can go to the oxygen bladder through the oxide dissolver. So it
Right,
was
that
a
makes
water
more
skin
sense.
was in the test tree. It was like from the main, and the main line it branched off towards water skin and then to oxygen bladder.
Yeah.
They now moved it next to the rain reservoir in the oxide dissolver and put a line between oxide dissolver and oxygen bladder. So you no longer have to go through water skin to go to oxygen bladder. You can go
Yes.
through the oxide dissolver to the bladder. And yes, I know when I on the 6th character I needed to research these two. It took me like half a minute or a minute to actually find it. It's
Yes.
way clearer now.
Yes. Well, that's good. I like it when they make it more user friendly.
Yeah.
I mean that's a sensible way to look at it because you know, I mean, that's common sense to me, and I like that. I like that. It will make it easier to find. That's for sure. Okay, they've updated the iron and steel pickaxe descriptions to better communicate access to higher tiers of ore.
Iron pickaxe description now says a strong iron pickaxe for more rapid, reliable mining of basic stone. They don't say anything about the basic ores though. The steel pickaxe says tempered steel suitable for even the toughest of metals. So yeah, you can, especially when looking at the steel pickaxe, you can now see steel pickaxe can be used for mining all the ores.
Yes, that's good. So with the iron one, you can still get stone, copper, iron, and gold.
But yeah, they kind of missed the ball on the description of the iron one, in my opinion. But hey, that's me.
Well, if they feel like it, they'll update that too.
Sure.
Okay, they've now made a pass on the crocodile and Komodo physics assets to bring them closer to our other animal ragdolls. So I definitely noticed, especially with the crocodile, it would roll over and twist up, and it would take maybe 5-6 seconds to actually stop moving long enough for you to skin it.
And I thought the crocodile and Komodo weren't supposed to do any ragdoll at all.
Well, I've certainly experienced the crocodile doing the ragdoll stuff.
Oh,
The
same here.
Komodo, not so much. The Komodo usually just sort of like falls flat, and that, you know, and is instantly available to skin like the wolf and stuff. But the crocodile is very much like the buffalo in so much as it rolls around, and if there's a hill, it's going to roll downhill, and you have to chase it until such time as it stops moving to get the highlight outline to skin it.
Well, I've had Komodos do ragdoll as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
But apparently
experience
they changed something about the ragdoll for the Komodo and crocodiles.
right.
Whether
Well,
it's less or more in line with the rest, we'll see.
okay. Well, I'll be looking at that. That's been made a note of for my test in science.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you fancy doing this one? Because I've tried to have a read of this, and I kind of get a bit lost. So, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Health regen is granted to anchored NPCs retreating and can now be controlled via a statistic in a code. So the game, let's just put it like the game. It can now choose whether or not an AI spawned via a BP manual AI spawn point. Again, like above, somewhere an entry in some JSON, like basically a function, a specific piece of code. So an AI, the game cannot choose whether or not an AI spawned via this function receives regeneration while retreating, which is enabled by default, or turn this off for some of the minor enemies from the Olympus Omni Research 2 mission. Not sure which mission this is, but one of the Olympus missions. So apparently some minor NPCs, like anchored NPCs, do not receive the HP regeneration, whilst all the others by default do get HP regeneration.
Okay, so that, I'm sorry to interrupt, that for the layman's terms, that tells me that minor bosses like the Jaguar boss doesn't get regen.
Well, you remember how we did the
opposed
Alpha
to the
Wolf.
Alpha Wolf, which does get the regen.
Yeah, he went back to his lair and started regenning health. We saw the same earlier this week as in yesterday. The Blanco, the polar bear in Styx, he went back to his anchor point and started regenning health.
Yes.
This is now on by default, except for some minor bosses in one specific mission.
Right.
The Olympus Omni Research 2 mission. Those do not regen health. This is interesting as well. Anchored NPCs can now teleport directly to their anchor target if they've been blocked for too long. I don't know, got into some loop where they can't get out.
Or stuck
Or
behind
maybe
a rock or something.
Yeah. Or maybe how we were leading around the mammoth boss.
Yeah.
So if they get blocked for too long, they like basically teleport directly back to their anchor point and start regenerating health. So this behavior is enabled by default for NPCs spawned via the BP manual AI spawn points function. Let's just call it a function.
Okay.
The added ability for go up action blueprints to override the stats granted to the NPC during execution of action. The added go up action blueprints? Must be some kind of code they're giving.
Yeah, that makes
I don't think this has anything to do with the tech tree. blueprints. I don't think
No,
so.
no. That makes me think of the attack pattern for a bear, where it lunges in a straight line.
I always forget what this go-up stands for.
Well, I've no idea, so you got me there.
Goal-oriented action planning.
There you go.
So basically, AI intelligence.
Yes.
Okay, AI, artificial intelligence, intelligence.
Yeah.
Basically, it's used to create smarter AI.
Yeah.
So they added more smartness for the AIs to override the stats granted to the NPC during execution of action.
Mm-hmm.
Low-level NPCs with anchor points are no longer guaranteed health regen when retreating. Okay. So during the execution of the BP manual AI spawn points action, also these lower NPCs get the regen health stat, but this will be overwritten by the go-up action blueprint. Like, hey, you're a lower one, you can't get health regen.
Yeah.
And NPCs with anchor points can now teleport to target if stuck, basically to their anchor point.
Yeah, it's
To
like us getting
actually
stuck in a
regen.
hole in a rock and using the unstuck to get somewhere we can get out of.
Yeah.
Cool.
Here's one I'm very glad of. Halves the attack range of polar bear cubs from 6 to 3 meters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luckily,
Again, having
it's not a vertical ranged attack.
no,
Whew.
no, that's a horizontal ranged attack when it's in
Yeah.
front of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good luck
again,
dodging those with a 6-meter attack range.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why it's hard. That's maybe why it's harder to dodge a polar bear. Maybe its
Good
attack
one.
range. Maybe its attack range is bigger than a grizzly.
Good one. So you can test it out. Dodge a polar bear. I'll be standing on my beam, ready to
Alrighty.
revive you.
Alrighty. You're on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, indeed. This might very well be why it was so hard to consistently dodge the polar bears with a 6-meter attack range. And we're all only talking about the cubs here, let alone the adult ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they increased base weapon damage multiplier on the Shengong bows from 1.0 to 1.75, and the larval bow from 1.0 to 2.25. 2.25? Hold on.
Instead of
Was this correct? Well, no, should be. Yeah, sorry, plus 125%. So yeah, 2.25. So this is basically the increase in the bow attack bows. Basically buff all the bows.
yes.
So as you can see, Karel, the Shengong bows from 1.0 to 1.75. Definitely better than it was. So yeah, we might have to need to rethink our stand on space bows.
Yes.
They will be useful now.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Okay, fixes. We have. Yeah, sorry.
Scaler says we'll test it, the bows, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they will be thoroughly tested.
So these first two bug fixes were already talked about above in the bug fixes. The Halcyon extermination mission where they tweaked the cub spawn, and the Ricochet expedition where they fixed the difficulty scaling, pointing to the wrong difficulty setup in the prospect system. So you selected easy and it did it hard. You selected normal and it did easy. I don't know. Anyway, they fixed it now, so this might actually be why Ricochet was so. Oh no, wait, Ricochet we have never played.
No.
Never mind.
Well, we started it last night, I believe, with the new Styx players, characters. I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they fixed an issue. Yay!
We started with normal, so I wonder were we playing in normal, easy, or hard mode? accidentally yesterday. But we'll see. But they
Yeah.
fix it, so that's good.
Yes, exactly. Fixed a visual
They
issue with workshop unlock requirements for EnviroSuit variant Zygo Hark S5 EnviroSuit.
remember on the beta where we were like, hey, why do you have to go to unlock the S5? It wasn't really clear that you had to unlock the Zygo Duo S5 first. Something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, maybe.
So I think that's what I mean. Like, made it more clear. Hey, this is these are the things you have to unlock first to get to the Zygo S5, the Hark S5 suit, which in my opinion is still the best suit there is.
Yes, yes,
But that's me.
I have to agree with that, seeing as I am a consistent user of that one. They fixed the scale or the size for poison paste mesh as it was way too big.
Oh, so it's gonna be showing smaller now. Well, it's just a bit of paste, so yeah. One wouldn't expect it to be a very big item.
No.
So they fixed it. Good.
Okie dokie. Fixed concrete furnace crafting time being too quick.
So it's gonna take a bit more time to actually craft the concrete furnace now. Well, it isn't really too bad actually. Cause usually, okay, I'm in base. I'm say okay, go craft this thing. All I need to do is wait for it to finish crafting, then go up and place it. But I can do other stuff in base whilst I'm waiting to craft the thing anyway. So.
Yeah.
And yes, they have been like increasing the timers on crafting, like making crafting things slower. Never really thought about it. Like maybe the concrete furnace is being crafted too fast now. I don't know. And usually you only do it once in a mission anyway.
Yeah,
But
but maybe it's referring to the crafting time of crafting the ingots from ore inside the concrete furnace.
I hope not, cause the expensive ores are already slow, and smelting iron and copper in the concrete furnace is slightly faster than in the stone furnace. If they would like increase the smelting time or reduce the smelting rate, they will become slower than a stone furnace, and that doesn't make sense. So I think it is, and I hope it is, for crafting the furnace itself.
Well, you'd be the one to tell us about that because I'm not used to crafting it. So
Like I said, I don't craft it that often either. Usually like once in a mission.
yeah, but you'd be able to tell
Yeah,
whether or not it was taking longer to craft it.
we'll see.
Okay. Fixed tooltip in superfoods to raw food provides more sustenance.
Talent. Superfood's talent. I don't know what it was before. But apparently they changed the description, the tooltip, to make it clear this is about if you eat raw food, it gives you more sustenance now. That's what this talent does.
Okay. Well, I will have to double check my level 50 character because I do believe that that is spec'd
Yeah,
into. So I will have a look at that.
but they didn't change the function. They just changed the description, the tooltip.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you still know what it was before? Because I don't.
I think it was something along the lines of raw food. Um, it was something to do with health regen. You know, like it would begin the health regen a bit quicker.
No, this has always been about the how raw food gives you more food in your stomach. Raw stuff.
Okay.
Or gives you food in your stomach. Period.
Yeah.
So the function hasn't changed. They
No,
just
it's
wrote it
just
differently now.
the text. Text has changed.
Yeah.
Okay. Fixed double stacked voxels in transition cave on sticks H5.
Yeah, I've heard plays about this before. Apparently there were 2 or maybe even more ore nodes in one spot.
Right.
So you hit the node, and the one hit you get an iron, the second hit you get a copper, then you get the iron again, and then multiple nodes in the same spot. They fixed that.
Yes, I've
Good.
had that issue. I have had that issue. I experienced that. So, yeah, I can relate to that. It's good that they fixed that, although we always like the surprise and wrapped up for us.
So the next one, they fixed the issue where any projectiles attached to cave worms on death of said cave worm were disappearing. They are now placed inside the loot bag. Any projectiles attached to cave worm on death are now removed and placed inside loot bag. Well, it was annoying. They ate the arrows. Yeah, because they died, you saw the arrows sticking out, and you had to rush over to where they went down in order to quickly retrieve the arrow.
Yep, which in
And
no
quite often
uncertain
you were
terms
too
then
late.
and also that rushing forward would then trigger the next spawn.
Exactly. So you didn't even have the time to pick the arrow up. So you basically got poisoned for nothing.
Yep.
So yeah, they fixed it so that the arrows are now going to be in a death bag. Good.
Yes, I like
You're
that.
going to lose less
That's
arrows.
better. That's better. Yeah. I mean that's been quite a common complaint. Especially for us, you know. I mean, we were saying just yesterday,
Yeah,
cave
they're
worms are
eating the arrows
eating my
again.
arrows.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a huge thing. I mean, when you're below level 25, starting a brand new character, and these cave worms are eating all your arrows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a hefty price to pay.
Yeah, you finally managed to craft bone arrows. Yay! I've killed 2 animals. Now I can go into a cave, kill the worms, and start mining. No, I can't, because I need a ton more arrows.
Yes, exactly.
And they've solved that now. This is good.
Yeah.
The next one as well, eh? Fix
Yes.
AA carcasses not filling with the correct amount of attached projectiles when skinned. So you skin a bear which has like a dozen arrows sticking in it still.
Yeah.
You have done a scanning and you retrieve 2 arrows.
Yes.
So
Yes.
apparently they fixed it now as well. Good.
You
Because you lose a
used
lot of arrows there.
Yeah, I mean, you used to have to run up to the bear and like physically try and pick each one of them up before
Yeah.
they despawned, and then hope you were going to get a couple when you skinned it.
Yeah. So they fix it. Good, because like I said, bears, they ate a lot of arrows upon death.
Oh yes, they do. They do. Okie dokie. They fixed AI, sometimes having attached arrows disappear when it's ragdoll throws.
So at the end of the ragdoll effect, the arrows were gone as well. They fixed that as well. Good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna lose way less arrows. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Scaly in chat says that will make using the top tier space arrows more viable.
Definitely.
Yes.
You didn't want to use them much against bears, because you shoot a dozen arrows, you only retrieve 2. You're gonna run out of space arrows.
Yes.
Very fast.
Yes.
So they fixed that, so space arrows indeed become, except for the drop pod slot, they become way more usable now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fixed issue where trying to customize the cosmetics of an offline character would leave the character headless. Fixed issue where any changes made to an offline character's cosmetics after creation wouldn't be saved.
You remember when I pointed you to a specific post in the Icarus Discord about this guy character having no head anymore?
Yeah.
And someone else edited the image and put the avatar of this person on top of the character. He said, "Here, your problem is fixed."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that problem should now not be there anymore. We don't use offline characters, so it never happened to us, but it does happen. And they fixed it, which is good.
Yeah.
And also fix issue where the changes made to an offline character wouldn't be saved. That's annoying. So they fixed that as well. Good.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. I'm standing outside at the moment.
Okay.
Next one. Fixed thatch roof buildables not being upgradable due to not being defined in the building variation structure. So apparently, if you had thatch roofs, you couldn't upgrade them with the upgrade hammer. You could upgrade all the other thatch building pieces, but not the roofs. Well, we actually never use thatch, so we never ran into this. I do recall this being an issue with the the wooden beams to stone beams. They had the same issue there. The stone beams weren't in this construct either, so you couldn't use the upgrade hammer to upgrade wood beams towards stone beams. They fixed that a while ago, and apparently they've now also fixed it for the thatch roofs, which is good. Of course, it's annoying if you can't use the upgrade hammer to upgrade your thatch roof to a wooden or stone roof. Right, next one. Icarus player character function now uses capsule component bounds instead of actor bounds when calculating nearby temperature effect. This fixes the bug where getting a critical shot with a ballistic explosive arrow would heat the player up from a distance. Something similar to this was in last week's patch note, I believe, as well, or the week before. Where we were talking like maybe if you get a kill cam shot with an explosive arrow and then you take the damage from that explosion even though it's on a distance. So it might be the same thing, just worded differently now. But yeah, definitely if you shoot an explosive arrow towards an animal 50 feet away, you kill it and then you heat up as a player. That's not really realistic, so I'm glad they fixed that. And here's another nice one. Fixed world bosses not being visible on map for clients with a relevant tracker module or trait. And update the description of stat granted by world boss tracker module. We tested out this world boss module thingy when it came out.
We did,
It
yes.
didn't work.
No, it didn't. It worked, well, you as host could see it on the map, but even with the tracker module, I mean, I got the tracker module and I equipped it and I couldn't see them.
Yeah, only the host could see them.
Yes.
So now players can see it as well, so we have to retest this as well at some point. So you go to the Olympus world boss mission and test it out. Or actually, any mission.
Any mission
actually.
now. Any mission, because we do have that unlocked for...
Any mission with access to the desert.
Yes.
Because for now, only the Sandworm is implemented as world boss.
Yes. Yes. We're kind of expecting the other world bosses to be implemented in this as well. I'd like to see that. I think that would make...
Yeah, but we haven't seen anything yet about the new world bosses being added, so...
No. Well, the last 2 weeks have been pretty much dedicated to sticks, so...
Yeah. So maybe in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah. So we'll have to retest this module again. And actually, I said it when we tested it, like, hey, we had the same with the other modules as well, like the player health module and the healing boost, and the strength boost. They didn't work straight away. We never revisited those either. So maybe we should do at some point a test for all those modules.
Yes.
You can just bring a bunch of modules down and test them all.
Yes. Yeah. So if we do that in an exploration map, then...
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to take us 10 minutes or 2 hours to test them.
Exactly.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so to fix the issue where multiple nearby campfires or fireplaces would not grant the warm and cozy buff, blocking players from sleeping. Again, this was in last week's or the week before, week 24's patch notes as well, and we still had occasions where even though the campfire nearby was lit, it still didn't register and you had to deactivate, reactivate the campfire.
Yes.
Let's hope
Yes.
they fix it proper now.
Yep.
Because yeah,
And
it's not a big issue. It's just annoying, especially
yeah.
if you make a small 1x1 to put your bedrolls down and have the campfire outside with no door. Then you have to take down the wall, deactivate, reactivate the campfire, put it up the wall again. It's a bit annoying, but not really a big issue.
Yeah, I was also wondering whether or not that would maybe aid the opposite end of the same stick with that buff, in so much as we've actually been into missions and found that we had well, there was a mission that we went into, I had a 9 times warm and cozy buff.
Yeah, somehow it sticks. It didn't go away. It didn't time out. You put out the campfire and it still registered it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we by standard make 3 campfires, right? We put
Yep.
it in an annex, and now we put in beside that the drying rack to stop the Kias from getting it if we're doing the sticks missions.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if in that particular instance where I got the 9 times, I would walk into the base, get the 3 times buff because there's 3 campfires, run out, do some hunting, still carrying the 3 times warm and cozy buff because it didn't run out. Getting a deer, running back inside, getting another 3 times warm and cozy buff, thus giving me 6 times, and it just like adding another 3 every time I came home. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they fix it as well. But it's a tad hard to test if you don't know exactly what is causing it.
Yeah.
If you don't know what's causing it, it's a tad hard to reproduce, so it's a tad hard to test. But yeah, we definitely can. I mean, if it happens again, we know it's not fixed. If it doesn't happen again, it might be fixed. One of those situations again.
Yes, that's one of these we're just going to have to keep an eye on and see how it gets on through time.
Right, next one. Fix crocodile spawning in the incorrect location during the ballistic extermination mission due to an outdated spawn config. Let's see, ballistic extermination. I don't think we have done that one. No.
No, we haven't.
No, it's one of the end missions on the Ricochet expedition branch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can't say anything about the incorrect spawning location. But hey, apparently it was incorrect and they fixed it, so that's good.
Yes, we like fixes. We really like fixes. But as seeing as we haven't done that mission, we can't really. It wouldn't be fair of us to comment on it. So.
Exactly.
Okay. Fix the highlight interaction prompts being visible while unconscious. Fixed animals unintentionally highlighting briefly when looking at them.
Yeah, so you're unconscious, you're waiting for your teammate to revive you, and in the meantime, you can still look around and things will be highlighted. They fixed that.
Okay, so
they won't. Those you can't do the highlighting anymore. So also not the press E to interact or press F to interact actually as the Icarus default.
Yeah. Well, I rebound mine to E, so just for ease of use for myself. Okay, well that'll be good. We'll keep an eye on that one. Fix the concrete furnish interaction camera clipping through the roof.
Yeah, I have it multiple times. When it's built under a ramp, for example, then you interact with it, and then the interaction camera swaps around and shows you basically the ramp and not the furnace.
Right. Okay. So
I mean, you could still do everything with the furnace, but you couldn't see the furnace, you saw the ramp.
Yeah.
So they fixed that, which is good.
Okay. Fixed swimming up and down using jump and crouch key bindings.
Yeah, you couldn't swim vertically up or down by using jump and crouch, which was a tad annoying every so often. They fixed it, yay!
I never tried to use those buttons for swimming up and down. I always did it using the mouse.
Yeah, but then you have to basically change your direction, the direction you're looking at, in order to go up or down. And it also means you change your XY coordinates, except only the Z coordinates.
Okay.
So yeah, you're swimming down towards a killed animal, and you have to spiral down. If you're on top of it, you have to spiral down in order to get down far enough to interact with the carcass. Now you can finally use the control key to descend vertically,
Okay.
which is good.
Okay.
It's
Well,
gonna make
I'll have to test
moving
that.
underwater a tad easier.
Yeah, I will have to test that because I'm never used those buttons to go up and down. So. Okay.
Well, they didn't work, so it was no use in trying to use them. Now they do work, so now you can use them.
Yeah. Fixed various instances of apply radial damage with fall off, not using the correct node, and therefore not dealing area of effect damage. I couldn't remember that last one. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This includes the sandworm world boss, smoke grenades, and others. Caveworms and teenage caveworms were left untouched so as not to affect the balance of missions using them.
Not using the correct node in the code. So the apply radial damage with fall off function, not using correct node, so not dealing any area of effect damage. Might this be, and I think this will be, like you fight a sandworm, it spits fireballs, it spits poison, and those poisons and those fireballs did not do any area of effect damage. So only if it hits you directly, you get the fire effect or the poison effect and stuff.
Okay.
From what I read, this is a viable explanation. From how I understand, from how I read this. So yeah, it is gonna make fighting the sandworms a tad harder, because you have to make sure you're if it spits at you, you move away very quickly now.
Yeah.
It also means your pills become more effective or more useful.
Yep.
But other than that, meh.
Yes. So from that,
it's not going to be that much harder.
Yeah, and also from that it says that the cave worms and the adolescent cave worms were not included in this, so as not to affect the balance of the missions using them. Now,
well,
thing is,
they already did do area of effect.
Yes,
like they splash a stalagmite in front of you, and even though you're like 2 feet behind the stalagmite, you still got poisoned.
Yes, I mean they would poison you through an unfinished excavation through a cave wall in order to get into the thing in the first place.
Yeah.
So they don't need to be included in that period because they already do it. We don't want to we certainly don't want to see the area of effect coming from them to be bigger.
Preferably not, no. Or have the first cave worm spawn further inside the cave.
Yeah.
Then it's fine.
Yeah.
But still, if those area of effects ranges will increase, it's gonna become a tad harder to get rid of the cave worms. Still, it'll make it a bit more of a challenge. For us, it won't be a problem. However, for a beginner player, it might become a bit of a problem if they would increase the area of effect from the cave rooms.
Yes, well, I can remember extremely well the nasty shock I got after the beta weekend 7 had finished, and we had the
Yeah.
launch, and I'm like, yay, there's a cave, let's go and set up base. And it's like, what the heck are these things? These weren't
Yeah.
in the beta. What the hell do I do now? Quick, run the hell out.
That was some nasty surprise, I know. I know.
But yeah,
But
it's
you get used to it pretty quickly anyway, so.
yeah, you do. But yeah, that was a fun discovery.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so they fixed the printed campfire destructible mesh materials.
Printed campfire from me points towards the MXC,
That's what that's what I went. Yes.
but not exactly sure what they mean with the printed campfire destructible mesh materials. No idea. Is this thing destructible? Yeah, it should be.
Well, yeah. I
So,
mean, you can destroy
yeah.
a campfire to get the materials back. So maybe it's.
We're talking about the printed one, so MXC1, Space 1. Well, everything can take damage, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
we have lost extractors, armor pieces that were broken, and stuff like that, backpacks, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, it does make sense, and that the MXC campfire is also destructible. So going from there, they fixed the destructible mesh materials. I don't know. As printed, not crafted. So.
But
I don't
again,
know.
it's a fix. It's a
Whatever.
positive. It's a step in a positive right direction. So that's good.
Yeah.
They fixed the spelling of teaming in Stick's description. Maybe they spelt it TEA.
Yeah, which is, I reckon, a different meaning.
Oh yeah.
English is not my primary language, so I'm not sure what teaming with double E means. But
Teaming with double E is okay. I'll give you a really good example here. You remember when we were doing the Styx missions and we were up the poles with crocodiles?
Mhm.
Right? That particular area was teaming with
okay.
crocodiles.
Okay, I get. Oh yeah,
It's a
definitely
huge
whole
massive
different mission.
gathering.
Whole different meaning then.
Yes.
Well, on the other hand, those teaming crocodiles was teaming with teaming crocodiles.
Yes. Yes, they were definitely teaming up with each other to like scare the what's it's out of me. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, I want to jump,
Man.
but I don't know how fast they are, and I can't guarantee they're going to get stuck. And oh my god, I need to run.
Oh man. It was a fun mission. It was such a fun mission indeed. The description of Styx says a repealed red zone ripe for the taking, Earth-like terra zone centered around large braided rivers teeming double E with wildlife.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Teaming means lots of, vast amounts of.
Righty-ho.
Readily available. Okay, so the next two, would you mind, please, Corne?
Yeah, fix the issue where the player facing name for Styx was incorrectly named typo Styx preview. They hadn't changed it yet to Styx apparently.
Okay.
Not sure where this player facing name was, because I think in the mission select screen it already said Styx.
Yes, it did.
But whatever. They fixed Styx preview to Styx, which is good because it's no longer a preview.
Yes.
And they fixed the cave worm spawning very large for server during Ricochet expedition mission on Styx.
Which is
Ricochet
the one that
expedition,
we
did
started. Yeah, we started that last night.
Fixed cave worm spawning very large for the server. For the server or for the host? I don't know. Server? Not sure what they mean with this particular thing though. Also because we haven't played the mission yet. And
Yes,
especially because we haven't played this mission before this update.
Yeah, maybe there were too many worms?
I don't know, spawning very large. Doesn't say large number. Like it's written here, it's I would think size. But
Yeah.
I don't really believe in caves they will spawn the adult cave worms. They won't fit.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
for the big caves then, but okay.
Okay. So now we're looking at the additions, whereby the first one we already know because we've covered that above, where they added the snow leopard, the jaguar, the scorpion, and the Kia to the skinning bench.
Yeah.
They've also added a delay so that Saul doesn't talk the very second bosses are defeated.
Good,
That's
because
good.
usually you're like, oh man, and did you see this boss? And like you're talking yourself, and then, oh wait, Saul is talking.
Yes, it's one of those. It actually gives you a second to celebrate your kill,
Yeah.
or commiserate your death.
Yeah, and to express your initial thoughts and feelings about the boss you just killed.
Yes, so the boss death would trigger the speech, but now there's been a delay added. So I
Thank you, Saul, for shutting up and not immediately talking whilst we want to talk about what we just encountered.
yes,
Thank
I
you for
mean,
that.
yes, it's all very well having the subtitles up, but really, just give it a moment to celebrate the win, will you?
Exactly.
Okay, applying water immersion EQ
Equalizers.
to
Equalize.
all equalize to all creature death vocalizations so that they filter when they fall under the water. Added preset for immersion. So now the sound changes when they fall beneath the surface.
Beneath the water surface, yes. Like
Oh,
if you shoot a jaguar, for example, it gives this last roar, right?
yeah.
Now, if you shoot it whilst it is swimming, I don't know, do they swim? Felines tend to slightly dislike water, but just for an example, if a jaguar was swimming across the lake, you kill it. So it goes under the surface, but you get the headshot, you get the kill cam, and it still gives out this roar, which sounds the same as if it were on dry land, which is not
Yes.
realistic. So
Yes.
apparently they added now the immersion preset. So okay, it's killed. The server says, where's it killed? It's in a war. It's going under the surface. Okay, I'm now going to give some muffled roar.
Yeah. Now it needs to sound like it's drowning.
Well, a muffled roar and maybe some bubbles.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So they have added slow and immobilized resistance stats to all aggressive creatures based on their size, difficulty, or strength. Ranges are from 10% to 50% and up to 100% for boss creatures.
So normally you can no longer stun or freeze a boss because it is like 100% resistance.
Yeah.
Now, I do wonder, what will these Larkwell arrows do? You know, the stun arrows. Because that one has 100% chance to stun, to freeze.
Yes, but
Combine this
they're
with,
specialist arrows.
yeah, but now the world bosses have 100% resist. Which one will take precedence?
Yeah.
Best way to
But
test this out is grab a bunch of stun arrows and go fight a boss creature.
Yeah, the downside to that, though, is it kind of negates the requirement for the talent, which gives
Not
you a
entirely.
percentage as a hunter to slow and immobilize targets with arrows. I believe. I don't know.
True, but
Maybe Carl
Carl
can.
had that. He had that talent, right?
Yeah.
And so often, hey, bears come in. Carl shoots it once. He said, "Okay, it's frozen now." You can basically walk up to it and beat it to death with a repair hammer because it's frozen anyway. The talent made things that too easy sometimes. Now at least they have some resist, 10 to 50%. So it should happen less often that the animal actually freezes.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't mean that talent is now worthless.
No,
No,
it just
because
means that it gives you a little bit more of a challenge, and
yeah, it triggers less often,
yes,
up to 50% less often,
yeah,
and not at all anymore on boss creatures, which in my opinion is a good thing, especially with the boss creatures. Like, come on, you shoot the boss with an arrow, and all of a sudden it can't move for several seconds. It's a freaking boss.
yeah. It's huge. It has a huge damage.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
So this arrow should only be tickling and not cause it to insta freeze for multiple seconds. So I
yes.
think I think this is a good thing.
Whereas by comparison, a level 10 brown bear should be immobilized for a good X amount of seconds so that you do get the bonus of the talent that you have, but that a level
I mean,
50 bear wouldn't take just quite as much
yeah, it'll trigger less
debilitation
often.
from it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll trigger less often because it's stronger. It has a higher resistance chance.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Okay, good.
I'm always up for a challenge. Okay, I can understand how a beginner player, provided he has the necessary talent points already to go all the way to the talent, but I can understand how a less experienced player will be like, uh-oh, it's gonna get harder now.
Yes.
But for us, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be slightly more of a challenge now.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so now we're into the performance updates, and just after that, we have some map changes updates, and then I believe we will be done. So let's get right into it, shall we, Corny? Performance-wise.
So, fixing the performance of deep vein ore deposits, as they were doing many operations that they did not need to be doing. Uh,
I think that's a
so,
typo.
yeah, as they as they were doing.
Yes.
So yeah, mining deep vein ore deposits now is less taxing. Takes less performance.
Good.
Yeah, performance boost. Yay.
Yeah. Reducing performance costs of dropships and buildings as they were, not where,
Were.
they
Yeah.
were performing expensive operations when they did not need to. So again, they've optimized performance
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. And this is basically all invisible improvements. It's just optimizing in code.
Yeah. Optimizing fish so they are no longer
They are no longer using expensive ticks or replication. Again,
okay.
an invisible performance optimization. Good.
Okay. Memory dependency improvements, which help to reduce the amount of data required to be stored in memory whilst various elements of the game are running.
Icarus is very memory hungry.
Yes, it's memory. Yeah, it's memory heavy,
I've
very
I've seen
memory
I've
heavy.
seen numbers like people who are running like 128 gigs of RAM in the machines. Reporting Icarus taking an easy 60 gigs of memory.
Yes.
Icarus is very memory hungry. They improved memory dependencies here, so it should use less memory now.
Yeah.
And yeah, luckily machines with less memory. I mean, if you have, for example, 16 gig, it'll use 10, 12 gigs. It does mean it has to read more often from disk, so this will slow down because disk is slower than memory.
Yeah.
But because there's less memory dependencies now and less data needs to be stored in memory, means that with limited amounts of memory available, it can store more effective data, so to say. So it should hit the disk less often, so it should give less performance issues. That's basically your takeaway here. It has to access the disk less frequently, so it'll less frequently access slower storage. So this will improve your performance. Good. We like that.
Oh yeah, we always like improvements.
Yeah.
Ammo count displayed on user interface is now cached instead of being recalculated per frame, improving performance.
Good.
We like improvement performance.
Yeah. Instead of doing a calculation like, hey, on every frame, right? So you're running what, 60 frames a second? It means it was calculating the ammo counter every single frame. So 60 times a second, it was calculating like, hey, how much ammo do I have?
Yeah.
If you run 120 FPS, it did do this 120 times per second.
Yes.
Now it's just caching this value and only recalculating when needed, as in switch weapon or ammo type. Only
Yeah,
then
or
it will recalculate. So again,
yes.
a huge performance improvement.
Yes, exactly. Good. Brilliant. Improving performance of widgets that were tracking and displaying survival variables such as oxygen, water, food, temperature, and/or shelter by preventing them from triggering updates in situations when they were not visible or not relevant to the current contextual situation.
Again, like the ammo counter, you have the oxygen meter, the water, food, temperature, all those meters, those counters are now way more performance friendly. They use less resource. I mean, if you're sleeping, for example, right?
Yes.
You are in your bed, your temperature doesn't change.
No.
So why would you need to recalculate the temperature variable times and again if you're sleeping
Yes.
anyway? So yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So,
they no longer trigger an update for that one, which means your computer does have to do less calculations. Ergo, the CPU cycles can be freed up for other more important tasks in the game.
yes. Which is good. I mean, we really like when things are streamlined, so that it means that things are optimized better, the performance runs better. It literally just smooths out the game and seriously enhances the gameplay itself.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So next up, we have them removing various legacy debugging pop-ups for user interface elements, which were triggering very expensive updates.
So basically a cleanup of the code. All those legacy debugging pop-ups, they're not being used anymore, so they now got rid of it. Code cleanup, so way less expensive updates for game counters. So again, performance improvement. Yay, good.
Yes, I mean if they're using less resources, then it just basically means that you know you get smoother and more consistent gameplay.
Yeah, because those resources are no longer needed for unnecessary operations, so they can be used for necessary operations.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
loading in map shards, for example.
Yes.
Just saying.
Rendering stuff in the future, in the distance, not in the future, in the distance, so that you know you can see certain things before you come upon them, which just
so hopefully also less lag when traveling.
That would be nice.
Definitely.
Yes.
So I hopefully I will no longer be rubber banding so much.
Yes. Yes.
Teleporting all over the place.
Oh yeah, we saw a prime example of that in I think it was Triple F episode 5.
Yep.
Where you had some serious lag spikes.
Yep. The deja vu moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think the best thing about that was it ended up being deja vu of deja vu.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, hopefully that will help. It'll help with the lag spike issues, and again, it'll make for more seamless traveling, which is always a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Because that's half of the game, and if you can't do that easily and reliably, then it takes an awful lot away from the gaming experience itself.
Yeah, it's annoying when you're traveling and you're constantly experiencing those micro stutters.
Yes. Okay. And the last one, if you please.
Removed unnecessary replication of many elements, water bodies, hunting clues, rockets, rocket parts, seeds, and preventing smooth sync movement, which was not needed. So, again, performance improvement, both CPU wise and memory wise. Nice.
Yeah. Again.
They did some nice performance improvements here.
Yes. Yes.
And unfortunately, I can't join the gameplay session, but I'm quite anxious to test these out because, like I said, the micro stutters are getting annoying, and it takes away a bit of the fun of the gameplay.
Yes, it can take away from the spontaneity of it.
I mean, come on, Icarus is a very fun game, but if you're constantly being annoyed by those micro stutters, it takes away from the fun of playing.
Yes, it does.
And I don't want anything to take away anything from the fun of playing Icarus. I like the game too much for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get it to a point where I'm like, if I get asked, shall we play Icarus? And I'm going to be like, nah, I don't want to experience those stutters again tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
Yes.
I don't want to. I don't want to get it. Don't want to get to that point. I like Icarus too much for that.
Yeah, it is. It is a brilliant game.
Oh yeah.
I have so much fun with it. It never ceases to amaze me. There's always something new to see, hear, experience. Hopefully for the viewers, something new to watch also.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does. It makes you kind of sit back and go, I really, I'm really not enjoying this because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So anything that they can do to make the game easier to play, excuse me, is always a positive thing.
Definitely.
Okay, we are at 7:15 British Summer Time. We have 6 items to go, and then we will take a short break before starting for the gameplay. But until then, we have map changes to read. So they have polished the landscape at cave entrance, fixed river spline and fish volume, editing floating landscape and voxels around, and added cliffs in desert area to correct collision issues. Sticks quads, yellow quad sticks. That's just a repeat of it having been said above.
Yeah. So the green quad did some bug fixes, waterfall fixes, blending mesh into the landscape, and moving floating voxels and cave fixes. Sorry, I'm missing a comma there.
Okay.
So that's what the green quad did.
Alrighty. Well, good for them. Or good for it. I don't actually know what these color quads are, but
yeah, I reckon they're like teams within a team or something.
It's entirely possible. Fixed riverbank seams, fixed floating cliffs, and fixed ores spawning mid-air. Blue quad sticks.
Yeah. And also some general cliff and riverbank fixes and a decal pass on the riverbanks. Also from Blue Quad.
Yeah, they maybe just broke the map into 4 different bits and gave it each a different color. To say right in the yellow quadrant we fix this and this, and green quadrant we fix this and this, blue quadrant and the next one is the red quadrant, whereupon the edited voxels and resources in transition cave, polished decals and foliage in the red quadrant sticks.
We have 4 quadrants in the 4 colors, so yeah, it could indeed be quadrants of the map.
Yeah, yellow, blue, red, green. Yeah. Okay. And finally,
And decal pass on riverbanks and foliage cleanup. So basically, they cleaned up the map and they fixed some collision issues and stuff on the map, which
yep,
is good.
yep,
Yeah, because we have seen it many a times where you have like floating voxels.
yes,
A
it's
very prominent example is the one at the Olympus map, the desert entrance,
yes,
the
where you
southern desert from the southern forest.
yes, where you had
There's
a
this
floating
floating
voxel,
voxel.
which was either silica, sulfur, or oxide.
Yeah. Always nice to, if you pass there, to see like, okay, what's it going to be this time?
Yes, yes. Okay, so that's it for our update this week. I thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of your support. Thank you very much to Gao for being with us and running through the updates with us. I'm really looking forward to testing out these new bows.
Oh yeah.
So, unfortunately, Corne can't join us immediately for the gameplay. Might be able to join us later on for gameplay. Carl
Yeah.
is going to be joining us for testing gameplay shortly, which I think for right now will start at 7 p.m. British Summer Time, UTC +1.
So there's 9 minutes from 9 minutes
Yeah,
from now.
10 minutes from now. Until then, it's a dangerous world out there, people. Take care of yourselves and each other. It's good night from me,
And good night from her.
and we will see you on the next one. Bye.